it to day 7 of the 60-day bookkeeper mini course. So today I'm going to go over how to find your first paying client. More specifically, what we're going to learn today is secret number 1. You've already learned everything you need to know about sales. Secret number 2, how to find clients online for free. And then secret number 3, how to overcome the objections your potential clients aren't even telling you about. All right, so like I've promised, you've already learned everything you need to know about sales. So let's revisit the sales process that we've covered so far. The first step in our sales process is lead generation, which is however you want to get in front of your ideal client. So that could be networking, Facebook, LinkedIn, social media, all kinds of ways, right? However you get in front of your ideal client is lead generation, and that's step 1. Once we're in front of our ideal clients, we want to get them to engage with a micro commitment, which is getting them to say yes to something small, which will allow us to uncover their true pain points, their needs, their wants, understand their business, and then be able to get them on a strategy call where we can deliver our service as a solution to their problems and remember to meet their needs in terms of money, energy, emotion, and time, so that working with us is a no-brainer. So that's why we follow up our strategy call with our no-brainer proposal for fixed ongoing work. Maybe there's a catch-up and a cleanup component to that, but the key here is to get recurring, regular, stable monthly income from these clients. So our goal here is always to focus on the client needs, wants, and pain points. So it's less about us. So it's not like when you apply for a job and you submit a resume and that resume is all about you, right? So we want to focus on what the client needs, what they want, what their pain points are, and how our service will be able to meet all of those needs. If you're new, if you have no experience, and this is a little bit harder for you, you might have to make your offer more tempting to get the client to choose you over another bookkeeper. So, and again, our goal is always to reduce the risk. So a part of making that offer tempting is to reduce the risk that they feel in working with someone without experience or without referrals or testimonials that they can go off of. So one thing that you might try if your offer isn't landing is to consider offering your premium tier service at the mid or low tier price for the first 3 months. So think of this as like a promotion, right? So whenever we send a proposal to a client, we have 3 different tiers of service, and those prices go up through each tier, right? So if this person has never worked with you before, we want to wow them in the first 3 months. I mean, those are the 3 months that you should work the hardest. And we want to convert that client not only into an ongoing client, but into a client who's sending us referrals. So you might want to consider giving them, and make sure it's clear. We don't just offer it and then have the client be confused when it's over, right? We would say something like, hey, you know, for the first 3 months, I'm going to give you this tier 3 service at the price of, you know, tier 2 or tier 1. And then after 3 months, you know, you can choose to upgrade to that tier if you'd like to, or, you know, we'll go back to your original tier that you've chosen, and so the pricing will be what they want, and then the service level drops. But what that does, 1, it gives them a taste of what having that premium tier would look like, so they can see the value for themselves, and it gives you a chance to wow the client, and it also gives them an incentive to choose to work with you, because again, you're giving them something of value right up front to kind of build that relationship, establish that trust. Other things that we need to point out with the sales process, so you know the steps, but consistency is key. So a strategy is meaningless without consistency. And you know, you've probably heard this before, but sales is a numbers game, which means that you have to stick at it. You have to get in front of a certain number of people, send a certain number of proposals, and only a certain number of those people are going to close and become your client. So the maximum number of people you can close is the, you know, however many you get in front of. So if that's your max and you know that only a small percentage of those are going to close, you need to be consistent with your sales. I do this by personally having written sales goals. So even though we only work for ourselves, I find it helpful I have a big desk calendar for each month. And right at the top, I write down, when I was first starting my business and I was trying to grow so I could leave my 9 to 5, my goal every month was to close $2,000 per month in fixed ongoing contracts. So that means bringing on however many clients I needed to bring on, that I would get $2,000 per month in recurring revenue added every single month. And you can see with a goal like that why it only took about 4 months to be completely free of my 9 to 5 and have replaced that and scaled to a 6-figure income. So have written sales goals. I put it right there at the top of my calendar because I look at the calendar every single day. I would even track my progress towards those goals, which I will show you my tracker or I guess you would have already seen it in the budget section. There's a tab there for tracking, the proposals that I've sent, the prospects. So use that. You can even do it on your calendar if you don't want to do it in the Excel sheet. I'd have my goal there, $2,000, and then I would write whenever I closed a new client, minus $250, minus $150 until I hit zero and knew I'd met my goal. So the other thing that I would do is I would put my sales events or tasks in my calendar and to-do list. So if I know, for example, I want to use networking to find clients, then I'm signing up for events in advance and putting them on my calendar and committing to them. Or if I'm using social media, then I'm putting in my to-do list, post on Facebook today, engage in this group this many times. Like, I'm actually making it a task that I focus on, not something that I'm doing haphazard or when I find a moment. It had to be a consistent thing. And so one of the things that I did that worked really well is I would do client work and phone calls with clients Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I would do sales on Tuesdays. So on Tuesdays, I'm sending out proposals. I'm following up on every proposal I've sent. I'm, on Upwork looking for new positions, all of that. I would focus on one day of going really hard and trying to get as many sales closed as I can. And then, of course, you might be wondering, well, what about Thursday? Well, Thursday's for me. So you should always have a day in there for yourself as well. Okay, so you know the sales process, you know you need to be consistent, and you know that any source of lead generation can work. But I'm going to cover a couple of ways that I found that worked really well for me for how to find clients online completely for free. So the first way that I found clients online is a platform called Upwork. So if you go to upwork.com, it's this freelancing platform, and there's literally businesses out there looking for bookkeepers. And so it's kind of like fishing in a barrel. So on Upwork, you create a profile, you talk about your skills and your experience. The nice thing is that as people work with you, they leave you reviews. So you're already building credibility and trust for the next person that comes to work with you because they can see your rating. They can see people who've worked with you and the successes that you've had. So Upwork is completely free in the beginning. So for every job, it costs a certain number of what they call connects to apply, and you get a stack of those to start for free. So just depending on changes that they've made on the platform, I'm not sure exactly how many you start with for free. But after that, they're 15 cents each, so it's not like it's an expensive platform to try, but I never had to actually pay for any connects to get clients. I was able to land clients with, the allotted free amount, and then afterwards, people start inviting you to jobs. And when you're invited, you don't have to spend anything. So Upwork is great. If you're just starting out, it really reduces the risk because you're not having to spend anything up front. And then if a client hires you, that's when Upwork takes their fee. So they take it as a percentage of what you get paid from the client. And the longer you work with your clients, the lower and lower that fee gets. So I love that platform. It was an easy way for me to find clients and jumpstart my business. Now, Fiverr is another freelancing platform, and it works a little bit the opposite. So on Upwork, you post a profile, and then potential, clients are posting jobs and you're applying and submitting proposals. Fiverr is the opposite. You post a gig, and the buyers come to you. So I might post, hey, I will do a 15-minute QuickBooks Online consultation with you for X number of dollars. And then someone is literally looking for that service. They can come to my gig, they can see my profile and my reviews and whatever, and they can just click a button to buy. So it's kind of cool because people just buy from you right away. They might message you first and you go back and forth, but It's a very cool, easy way to get in front of a lot of people because they do put your profile out there. And then there's a link where you can share your profile and your gigs out on social media. And so again, if you're brand new and you're just looking to get started, this is a great way to get your feet wet, find some quick work, and really start to establish your business. You also could try Facebook posts or pages. So if you set up a Facebook page for your business, then you've got to, put in all the information, fill out that profile completely, make a nice banner image, and then find some content that you want to be posting on there so people know that you have an active business. So the worst thing you can do is set up a Facebook page and then never do anything with it, because then if people search for your business and they find that page and there's nothing going on, they might think you're not in business anymore. So if you're going to set up a Facebook page for your business, make sure that you're regularly posting something on that page so that they can tell that you're still an active and true business. Now, you could also just post on your regular Facebook, hey, I'm starting my bookkeeping business. Here's who I can serve. Here's who I'm looking for. And you'll have friends and family who have small businesses or friends of friends who will see those posts. If your friends and family are nice and they share that post for you, then it starts to reach all these people that are, a couple degrees away from you in your network. The other thing you can do, because again, our goal is to find local businesses or small business owners, so join the business Facebook groups that they are in, watch the questions they're posting, look for people who need help, and post your, provide some service, provide some value in those groups so that you build a real relationship and a connection with some other local businesses, and then that can turn into clients down the road. All right, so we know the process we need to follow. I've given you some ideas for where to find people. Now we need to figure out how to overcome the objections that your potential clients aren't even telling you they have. So we want to first cover the external versus internal objections. So the objection that they tell you is the external objection. But the way that we overcome an external objection is by figuring out what is the true internal objection, the thing that they're not telling us, that maybe they feel uncomfortable to say what's really bothering them, or that maybe it's rude and they just don't want to say it. So let's look at some of those. So for example, if the client says, oh, I can't afford it right now, that is an external objection, right? And it seems like the easy way to say, hey, I just can't afford it. What they're really saying most likely is, I don't value what you're offering at that price, right? Because if they felt that the value was there, I can't afford it wouldn't be an objection. Also, when you're doing their QBO checkup and when you're creating your proposal, you should already know that you're creating a proposal that fits within their budget, right? Because your goal when you create that proposal, there should be an instant positive return on their investment. So there's two problems that we could have. Like, you could be pricing wrong. If you're getting a lot of I can't afford it and no one's buying from you, then you might need to look. So for example, if you have a client that only does $4,000 or $5,000 a month in revenue because they're just starting out and you're quoting them $500 per month for bookkeeping, yeah, they can't afford it, right? That's not a reasonable price that matches where their business is at. But if it is a reasonable price and you haven't, completely overblown your budget, when they say they can't afford it, it really means I don't value what you're offering at that price. And so that's a cue for you to say, okay, well, let's dig deeper. What do you value? I must have missed the mark on what you truly want, what you're truly looking for. It means that you didn't fully cover the pain points that they have to give them a positive return on their investment. So when that happens, I can't afford it is an opportunity for you to come back with a new proposal after you've talked to them, figured out which of the services you offer that they value, and come back with a new proposal that focuses on the things they value and cuts out the things that they don't. All right, if they say, I'm too busy right now. So this happens all the time. I'll get people who are months and months or years behind on their bookkeeping, and then you'll send them the proposal and maybe there'll be crickets and you'll keep following up and finally, oh, I'm just so busy. Well, what they're really saying most likely is, this will take up too much of my time and that's not the best use of my time right now, or I don't want to. So if they're saying they're too busy to hire you to save them time, then what that really means is they think that their obligations to get you started is going to take up more time than they have, and they just aren't valuing what you're going to give them more than the time you're going to save. So The best thing you can do for that is to show them the easiest way to work with you. Show them what their time commitment would be. So, hey, you know what? Yes, you do have to set up view only access, but I can get on the phone with you right now. I can walk you through it. It takes 20 minutes to do this, and then you don't have to do anything, and I will catch up 3 years worth of bookkeeping, get you your reports, and we'll be done. So sometimes they might think that their commitment is too high. They might not understand exactly, how easily they can work with you. So reframe it for them. Let them know what is their true time commitment, and make sure that they understand, like, hey, your time commitment is this, and then I'm off and rolling, and you don't have to worry about anything. All right, they also might say, well, I just need XYZ, I just need the books reconciled, or I just need them caught up, So if that's the response that you get to your proposal, what they're probably saying is, I have a pain point that you're ignoring, and I'm not convinced your solution will help me. And so I've absolutely had this happen where, we do the QBO checkup. We know what the client needs. We know better than the client what the client needs. But if I get them coming back at me, pushing back and saying, well, I just needed this, it means that I didn't clearly convey their pain points. I didn't clearly convey the problems that I found in their books and how it's hurting them. So they have a pain point they don't even know about, or they have a pain point that I'm missing, right? There's something that's pressing on them so much that they can't even focus on these smaller, less critical pain points. So this one is about conveying to them, first understanding what pain points are really, really bothering them, conveying how you're going to solve that pain point. Maybe start there, do that first. And then once that thorn is out of their side, now you can focus on all the other little thorns that are poking them and show them, here's what we need to do to fix those as well. Here's why it's important. And so you can get them on board. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. We've covered a lot in this 7-day mini course. If you guys have more questions, please feel free to jump into the Bookkeep Anywhere group, post your questions, interact with the other bookkeepers that are in there. That group's growing every day with more and more, bookkeepers who want to network with each other and push their business to the next level. So we'd love to have you join. Also, there's a link below if you'd like more information on the full 60-day bookkeeper course. Click that link below, and you'll be able to see everything that's offered in the course. There's video lessons, so it's all self-paced. You can watch and learn at the speed that you'd like. However, if you do want to complete it in 60 days, you should expect to spend about 6 hours per week doing the videos and the homework and the simulation that goes with the course. Also, so the course covers everything in way, way, way more depth, right? These lessons were just tiny snippets of the things that are covered in the course. So the course will teach you, there's 4 primary things that I feel like you need to be a successful bookkeeper, and those are the objectives of the course. So the first objective is that you know bookkeeping. So you have to have technical bookkeeping knowledge to be a good bookkeeper. The second objective is that you are a master of QuickBooks Online. That's the software that I teach in the course right now. Maybe someday there'll be some other ones, but for now we need to know at least one software. If you know QuickBooks Online, the concepts are the same no matter what software you use, right? So that's one software that we teach, but once you've figured out how to navigate that, you can easily try a different one as well. The third thing you have to know to be a good bookkeeper or to have a successful bookkeeping business is how to find clients. So we cover that in way more depth in the course, and I've got students who 2 weeks into the course have already found their first client by taking the things that I've shown them and implementing. So even if you have no experience, the course will show you how to find clients. And finally, how to manage and scale your business, because the whole point of this is not just to create a job for yourself, right? So the purpose is to create a true, scalable, manageable, intentional business that helps you achieve your life goals, your financial freedom, your flexibility. So click the button below, go check out what's offered in the course. I'd love to see you join. If you have questions, again, jump in that group and just let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining for this 7-day mini course.